Welcome to finally another kill count. I'm your host Mark, and today we're looking at Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Cyberpunk Edgerunners came out in 2022 on Netflix, developed by the CD Projekt Red, which is the company who made the original Cyberpunk 2077 game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners has great animation done by Japanese studio Trigger, with the second season announced this month at Anime Expo 2025. So I thought there's no greater time to cover Cyberpunk Edgerunners than now. Anyways, let's stop yapping and get to the kills. The series begins with a nice view of Night City. We pan over to a man named James Norris, who approaches a police vehicle where he then busts an officer's head open like a watermelon. Damn. Which then starts a whole ass massacre that kills 14 Night City police officers. He starts firing at a chopper, but then after a little while he gets taken down by the NCPD, which basically just puts him on our account. We cut and meet our protagonist, David Martinez. He goes and gets ready for school, where we get to meet his mom, Gloria Martinez. She's a paramedic, and we later see her on the news due to what happened basically at the beginning of this series. David goes to school, but he fucks something up in the system, so his mom's gotta go pick him up. On their way back, they get attacked, which leads to their vehicle getting destroyed, where his mom dies in the crash due to her injuries. But we're just gonna put it right here, the graphic, even though it's confirmed she dies later. David goes back to his home, where he finds a device hidden behind his mom's little paramedic thing called the Sandevistan. David tries to sell it with no result. David decides to get the Sandevista, whatever it's called, installed. He says this while Doc's on some like freaky shit, bruh. Doc gets off that freaky business and decides to implant the Sandevistan into David. David then pulls up to school like throwing haymakers against the guy who was beating the shit out of him yesterday. David then uses the Sandevistan and he just throws the hardest punch at this motherfucker he could. The next day, David gets on the train and we meet a new character. We will be following Lucy. They meet up, they pull some heists together, and then David just passes out after like a while. David wakes up and sees he's in an ambulance with Lucy, and then yada yada happens, and then this chase sequence happens where they're out of the ambulance now. Later on, Lucy takes David back to her place where they spend time together until Maine and his crew appear. After an explanation, David joins the crew made up of crucial characters such as Maine, a Militech veteran and the leader of the crew, Dorio, Maine's lover and the second in command of the crew, Kiwi, a netrunner and Lucy's mentor, of course Lucy as well, who's a netrunner herself, Pilar or Pillar, who is the techie of the group, and Rebecca, who is a solo, works with the crew, Pilar's sister, and also my favorite character. And then might as well mention him now, even though he appears later on, Falco, the occasional getaway driver for the crew. They begin a heist where a character named the Butcher is killed, and a badass chase sequence happens with cars where a Tiger Claws gang member is crushed underneath a car, and then when they arrive to their destination, another Tiger Claws gang member is killed, and then the episode ends off with a party. This episode really serves as a training episode for David, where we can add 4 deaths that happen in montages. We then go on to Maine's crew chillin'. We get treated by a visual of a man pissing? What the fuck? Pillar, of course, goes to confront him and is shockingly killed with the man blowing his head off. Like, I didn't expect him to die this early, but I expected him to die at some point. They pick the fight with the man that killed Pillar. Maine then finishes off the kill by knocking the man's head off. Damn, this show's brutal. Oh, what the fuck? Rebecca's... What the fuck? The episode then ends with David and Lucy sharing a moment. A new mission is strategized that fails, resulting into David getting kidnapped. David subjected to traumatic BDs where David's seen killing multiple officers, but we will not count this as it's not real, it's just made to torture David basically. JK is then stopped by Lucy and Dorio and is captured and made to lure Tanaka to their location. We see a little scuffle with Tanaka and who is then knocked down by Maine. We see a mortally wounded JK, so that means we can add him to the count. The episode ends with the team evacuating with Tanaka. Maine begins to develop signs of cyberpsychosis, which leads to him injuring Kiwi. Lucy taking her place at a condition of having David accompany her. Lucy dives straight into Tanaka's mind, but Tanaka wakes up mid-extraction and makes David hesitate. But then Tanaka's implant short circuits, which kills him, adding him to our count. Which also has the chance of killing Lucy, but is disconnected safely before anything could happen. But they don't have that much time to rest, as that means their jammer is gone and the trauma team and the NPCD has the location of Tanaka's body. David and Lucy are sent in the car to be safe. This then starts an action segment where we can add 10 NCPD officers, 9 team trauma members, Dorio and Maine to the count. Sadly, David and Lucy then drive away, as this becomes the episode where shit starts to hit the fan. A time skip happens where we see that David becomes the new leader of the group. We cut to a job, which means, a fuck ton of kills we're gonna add. Which means we could add 30 Maelstrom gang members to the count. They see the room filled with hostages they have to save. But on the way there, Julio trips a mine and explodes. The only reason I didn't bring him up in the beginning of the episode while introducing everyone is because he was basically just death fodder. He was there to die. We later on learn about Lucy's backstory, adding more to her character. Through flashbacks, we learn Lucy was raised to recover lost data. Through these flashbacks, we see and hear 14 deaths of Arasaka netrunners and Arasaka guards. After said flashback, we cut to a netrunner named Jaime or Jamie, however you want to pronounce it, who gets killed by Lucy after he makes his implant short circuit. Taking a job from Faraday, while showing signs of cyberpsychosis, David murders an Arasaka lab director and an Arasaka lab assistant. While Arasaka counterintelligence investigates the death of their personnel, we see the body of a member named Marcus after his implant short-circuited. We then cut to Faraday in a vehicle where both his guard and driver are killed. Then this whole segment happens, which allows us to add 8 more kills to the count. After fleeing the scene, Faraday makes a deal with Arasaka. We then cut to David and Rebecca absolutely demolishing this gang. Damn. We then go back to where we were in the beginning of the episode, so we'll just skip this part. David and Lucy have a little confrontation with each other. David throws in the option of breaking up. Oh yeah, I've never mentioned this in the kill count before, but David and Lucy are dating. The other reason I didn't mention this is because I couldn't find a way to bring it up in the kill count, and every scene they're in after episode 6 has fucking titties in them. Lucy rejects the idea and saying she doesn't want to, but then gets interrupted and dips. Lucy goes to kill this netrunner, but then we figure out it was a trap set up by Kiwi and Faraday. Yeah, Kiwi basically just betrayed the group for survival instincts and her desire to escape Night City, bruh. Kiwi and Faraday question on why Lucy hides Tanaka's data on David. Faraday then decides to offer David and Lucy up to Arasaka to secure a position in the company. He assigns David a job to assault Arasaka convoy to carry out his plan. During the job, a 7-man crew of decoys are brought in as a distraction but are killed by Arasaka guards. This starts a whole ass chase scene where 5 Arasaka guards are killed. The escort van goes on to drive off the canyon, but they stop that before anything bad could happen. But before they can get a breather, Militech arrives. A simple explanation of Militech, a company that makes weapons. There you go. They decide to hide in the escort van. In said van, we are introduced to the cyberskeleton, a very large frame that can only move using gravitational field generators and 2 compacted thrusters. Faraday impersonates Lucy to trick David into installing the cyberskeleton. For a little, Lucy is able to escape and decapitates 2 of Faraday's guards. She warns David about Faraday's duplicity before getting captured again. David then uses the cyberskeleton to kill 20 Militech guards. Then David and the others decide to go get revenge on Faraday and save Lucy. While heading to Arasaka Tower, our team is in a chase and they kill 61 guards from various groups where Kiwi and Faraday meet up, where Faraday shoots Kiwi to kill her since she knows about the cyberskeleton. But before she can bleed out, she sends the location of Faraday and Lucy to the gang. We then see Kiwi's dead body as she was presumably shot. David arrives to Arasaka Tower and decides to free Lucy and kills 7 Arasaka guards. David then removes some of the limbs of Faraday, but although he doesn't die right here, he does die later on, spoiler alert, so we'll just add him now. We then see the Atom Smasher, the character from the game, which I don't know much about the character, so you can either watch a video about the character or ignore it. But all I know is he can you can beat the shit out of him with a dodo, so anyways, him and David start a fight. David gets Lucy out of the current room and they fall at this majestic scene. It looks low-key beautiful. Anyways, they regroup with the crew. Becca and Lucy have a little chance. So wait, what the fuck? Yes, they killed Rebecca. They show that shit replayed 3 times so you know what happens. Damn. Goddamn. At least the aftermath looks cool. Again, I'm low-key kind of sad they killed my favorite character off, but it's whatever. The only thing I hate ever since season fucking 2 was announced, my entire TikTok feed is fucking Rebecca's death. What the fuck? Anyways, we go back to David and the Atom Smasher fighting as he tells Falco to go get Lucy out of here to safety. Then Falco tells Lucy what David told him to do, which is basically what I told you in the last clip. As David's getting the shit absolutely beaten out of him, we get flashbacks to every character and their deaths as well. And then the show shows us it has the balls to do what most animes don't, and they fucking kill off David. Yes, they fucking kill the main character. Goddamn. The show then ends with Lucy on the moon, and she's now seeing David. A total of 227 people died in Cyberpunk Edgerunners, 19 of them being male and 5 of them being female, with 203 that was too lazy to identify or couldn't determine. So here's this mostly gray pie chart. Now, let's get on to the awards. The Reaper Scythe for the best kill in the show goes to Rebecca. I'm not being biased because she's my favorite character. It's because it's something that isn't a gunshot. And plus, the aftermath is probably the best one because they show you that like thing in full action. Just look at the body. And busted bat for the worst kill is gonna go to Marcus because not only was he killed off screen, is all we see is just a body and it's not even in person. It's in like a picture. I really hope you guys enjoyed this kill count because it took me a straight week to make with all the writing, editing, voiceovers and stuff. Yeah, if you're disappointed with this kill count, hey, My bad. I'll try to make something you might actually watch next time. But that's all for this kill count. Because it's 4 in the morning when I'm recording this shit. And I really need sleep. Even, goddamn, this goddamn kill count ruined my sleep schedule.